The shopkeeper took it, looked at Aram's wet clothes and tired eyes, and gave him a small packet of tablets and a bottle of water. "Go," the man said, "but be careful." Aram ran back to the garden fast as he could. Zara was still there, sitting quietly, her hands on her belly. "I got medicine," Aram said with a smile. "And water." She looked surprised. "How?" "I have my ways," he said proudly. She smiled, a real one this time. After drinking and resting, Zara felt a little better, but Aram knew they couldn't stay in the open. If the men came back, they would find her. "There's another place," he said. "A better one." Zara looked at him, weak but hopeful. "Come," Aram said. "Lean on me." He helped her stand and guided her through the back streets, away from the city lights. They reached the old railway station, where no trains stopped anymore. It was quiet and abandoned. There were empty cabins near the tracks, places where Aram sometimes slept. He led her into one small cabin. It had a wooden floor, dry and safe. "No one came here at night." "You can sleep here," he said. "No one will bother you." Zara lay down slowly. She placed her hand on Aram's. "You saved me," she whispered. "I just did what was right," he replied. She looked into his eyes. "I don't even know how to thank you." Aram smiled. "When your baby grows up, tell him a street boy helped you once. That's enough." Zara touched her belly and nodded. "I will." Just then, she closed her eyes, tired and in pain. Aram sat beside her, watching the door, listening to every sound. Hours passed. The sky started to change. Rain had stopped. But before the sun rose, Zara cried out suddenly. "Ah, Aram!" He rushed to her side. It's hurting. So much, I think, the baby." Aram's eyes widened. "Wait, Didi, don't worry, I'll get help." He ran out of the cabin and saw a man nearby, a rickshaw driver. "Uncle, please, my sister's in pain. She's having a baby. Please take us to hospital." The man said, "I don't take passengers now. Go." Aram fell to his knees. "I'll give you this," he said, showing his only other thing. "A small wooden toy his father made long ago. It's all I have. Please, help her." The rickshaw driver saw the boy's tears, his wet clothes, his desperate eyes. He paused, and then nodded. "Okay, get her, fast." Aram ran back and helped Zara into the rickshaw. She held her stomach and screamed in pain. The rickshaw drove fast through the quiet city, toward the nearest clinic. As the sun rose, the boy and the pregnant woman reached the small hospital gate. Zara was taken inside on a stretcher. Aram stood outside the door, alone, scared. He had no idea what was going to happen next, but deep inside, he hoped. The small clinic was quiet. Only one nurse was at the front desk, half asleep. But when she saw Zara being helped inside, her eyes widened. "She's in." "Labor?" the nurse shouted. "Quick, call the doctor." Two helpers rushed with a stretcher and took Zara into a small room. Aram tried to follow, but the nurse stopped him. "You can't go in there, son. Please wait outside." Aram nodded, his heart pounding. He sat on a bench near the door. His clothes were soaked, his hands muddy, his eyes full of worry. The door closed behind Zara. He could still hear her cries, loud, painful. Aram closed his eyes and folded his hands like a prayer. "Please, please save her. Save the baby," he whispered. Time moved slowly. Every minute felt like an hour. Rain had stopped outside. The sun was rising. The streets were still empty. After what felt like forever, the door opened. A tired-looking nurse stepped out. Aram jumped up. "Is she okay? The baby?" The nurse smiled kindly. "Both are safe. She had a baby boy." Aram's face lit up. "Really?" The nurse nodded. "But she's weak. She's asking for you." Aram followed her inside. Zara lay on the hospital bed, pale and tired, but smiling. Beside her was a tiny baby wrapped in a clean white cloth. Aram walked slowly toward them. His eyes were wide with amazement. Zara whispered, "Come, meet your nephew." Aram sat beside her. He looked at the baby, small, soft, Sleeping. He's beautiful, Arham said softly. You saved his life, Zara replied. If you hadn't helped me, I don't know what would have happened. Arham smiled. He's a fighter just like you. There was silence for a moment. Then Arham asked, What will you do now? Zara looked down at the baby. No, I can't go back. My husband, he's powerful, rich, but cruel. She looked at Arham. I didn't want my child to grow up in fear. Arham nodded. You don't have to go back. I'll help you. But you're just a boy, she said softly. How can you protect me? I don't know, Arham said, but I'll try. I'll stay with you. Zara's eyes became wet. Again. You're not just a boy, Arham, you're family now. Suddenly the nurse entered the room with a worried face. There's a man outside, she said. A black car. He's asking for a woman named Zara. Zara's face turned white. He found me. Arham stood up. We need to leave, now. But I just gave birth, she whispered. I can't walk. The baby. The nurse interrupted. We can hide you in the storage room. No one goes there. Arham nodded. Let's go. The nurse carefully picked up the baby and Arham helped Zara walk slowly through the back hallway of the clinic. They entered a small room filled with boxes and cleaning supplies. The nurse gave them a mattress on the floor. Stay quiet, she said. I'll come back when it's safe. Zara held the baby close. Arham sat beside her, listening to every sound. Outside, the black car door slammed shut. Footsteps entered the clinic. Voices echoed. I'm looking for my wife, the man said, angrily. She's pregnant. Where is she? The nurse replied calmly. No woman like that here, sir. I saw her. She came here, he shouted. Arham's heart raced. He looked at Zara. She was holding her breath. The man's voice grew louder. Tell me the truth. Where is she? The nurse stayed calm. Please leave, sir, or I'll call the police. After a few moments, the man cursed under his breath and stormed out. The sound of the car engine faded away. Silence again. A few minutes later, the nurse returned. He's gone. For now. Arham helped Zara back to her room. She lay down with the baby beside her. Her eyes were full of worry. He'll come back, she said. He won't stop. Arham looked at her and said quietly, Then we need to go somewhere far, where no one can find you. But I don't have money, she said. No friends, no one. I know someone, Arham said after a moment. A kind man who helped me before. Maybe he can help again. Zara looked at him with tired hope. Who is he? An old school teacher. He lives in the village, far from the city. He once told me, if you ever need a place to rest, come find me. Can we trust him? She asked. I think so. Zara nodded. Then let's go. As night fell again, the baby slept peacefully between them. But outside, in the city full of lights and secrets, the man in the black car picked up his phone. He dialed a number and said coldly, She ran again. This time bring her back, with or without the baby. The next morning, before sunrise, Arham helped Zara and her newborn baby out of the clinic. The nurse handed Arham a small packet of baby clothes and a few medicines. I wish I could do more, she said kindly. You've done enough, Didi. Thank you, Arham replied with a warm smile. Zara covered her head with a long shawl. She held the baby close, wrapped in a blanket. Her body was weak, but her will was strong. Arham guided them to the edge of the city. He knew the roads well, every shortcut, every alley, every place to hide. Where is this village? Zara asked, walking slowly. Far, but we'll take the old train line. It's cheap, and no one checks tickets there, Arham explained. They reached the small, quiet railway station by noon. Only 2 trains stopped there daily, and one of them was going to the village Arham spoke of. They waited under a tree. The baby slept peacefully. Zara's face looked pale, but she tried to stay strong. I'm scared, she whispered. I am too, Arham admitted, but we'll make it, I promise. The train finally arrived, slow, rusty, and noisy. They climbed in and sat on an empty bench near the window. Arham held the bag of clothes. Zara held her baby. The train started. Moving. Outside, the city faded. Trees, fields, and open skies replaced buildings. For the first time, Zara closed her eyes and smiled. It's peaceful. Wait till we reach the village, Aram said. You'll like it. Hours passed. The train moved slowly across old tracks. Aram gave the baby a little warm milk they had bought from a small shop. Zara looked at him. You're only 12, but you care for us like a father. Aram blushed and looked away. You're my family now. I won't let anything happen to you. Suddenly, a man entered their coach. He wore dark glasses and a black coat. He looked round, his eyes sharp. Zara's smile disappeared. Aram froze. The man walked slowly, his eyes stopping on every passenger. Aram whispered, Don't look at him, cover the baby. Zara wrapped the baby tighter and turned her face toward the window. The man passed by them, stopped for a second, then moved on. Aram waited. Every second felt like an hour. Finally, the man stepped out into the next coach. Aram breathed again. That was one of them, Zara whispered. I know, Aram replied. He didn't recognize you. Zara touched Aram's hand. You're very brave. He gave a small smile, but inside, his heart was racing. The train finally reached a small station, surrounded by fields, trees, and quiet hills. This is it, Aram said. Come. They stepped off the train and walked slowly along a narrow path. Birds chirped, the air was clean. A few houses appeared at the edge of a forest. There, Aram pointed. That's his house. An old wooden house stood under a big tree. A small garden was growing near the steps. An old man with a white beard was sitting on a chair, reading a book. Aram ran up to him. Ustad Ji, he shouted. The man looked up. His eyes lit up. Aram, you're alive! They hugged tightly. Zara watched from a distance, surprised. This is Zara and her baby, Aram said. She needs help, a place to stay. Please, Ustad Ji. The old man looked at Zara. He saw the tired mother, the sleeping child, and the pain in her eyes. Come, Beta, my house is your house. Zara nodded with tears in her eyes. Thank you. He took them inside. The house was simple but clean. One small room was made ready for Zara and the baby. Aram stayed in the next room. That night, for the first time, Zara slept without fear. Aram stood outside the house, watching the stars. He felt peaceful. Now, but miles away in the city, the man in black returned to his boss, Zara's husband. She got on the train, sir. We don't know where she went. The man's face turned red with anger. I want every village searched. I want her back. If that street boy gets in the way, he slammed his fist on the table. End him. The morning sun touched the small village, filling it with warmth and light. Birds chirped on trees. Farmers walked to the fields. It looked like peace had finally found Aram and Zara. Inside the wooden house, Zara sat beside the window, holding her newborn baby. She smiled as the child held her finger in his tiny hand. Aram entered with a tray. Breakfast is ready, he said. Ustad Ji made it for you. Zara took the food and looked at Aram with soft eyes. You saved my life again and again. I'll never forget this. You saved mine too, Aram replied, smiling. Before you came, I was just living. Now I feel like I have a family. Zara wiped a tear. You are more than family. You are my son's guardian angel. Just then, Ustad Ji came in with his walking stick. Child, how is the baby? He asked warmly. Sleeping well, Zara replied. Ustad Ji nodded. Good. You can stay here as long as you need. No one will find you here. But outside the village, someone was searching. A black car rolled slowly through nearby roads. Inside sat two men, one of them the same who had followed Zara on the train. They stopped at a tea stall. Have you seen a woman with a baby come through here? He asked the tea seller. The man thought for a moment and said, A young boy brought a lady with a baby last evening. They walked toward the hills, maybe to the village. The man gave a cold smile. Found you. Back in the village, Aram. And Zara walked around the garden. Zara had wrapped the baby in a warm shawl. Her face had more color now, and her steps were stronger. "This is the first time I feel like I can breathe," she said. "Your husband—" "He won't find you here," Aram assured her. "No one from the city comes this far." But just then, Ustad G came out of the house. His face was serious. "Arham, Zara, come inside, now." They followed him quickly. Ustad G shut the door and pulled the curtains. Then he whispered, "I saw a black car near the river road. 2 men. They don't belong here." Zara's face turned pale. "It's him. He found me." Aram clenched his fists. "We need to run." "No," Ustad G said. "Running again will tire you more. You just gave birth. You need rest." "But what if he comes here?" Zara cried. "What if he takes my baby?" Arham thought hard. "We need proof. We need to tell someone what your husband did. We can't keep hiding." Zara hesitated. Then she said quietly, "There's a reason I ran." Arham looked at her, confused. Zara continued, "Before I left, I found papers in his office. He's hiding money, doing bad things, illegal things." "You mean he's a criminal?" Ustad G asked. "Yes," Zara nodded. "He keeps secret. Bank accounts, fake property deals. I copied the papers and hid them in my bag before I ran." "Where's the bag now?" Aram asked quickly. Zara looked worried. "I lost it. At the clinic." Aram stood up. "I'll go back and get it." "It's too dangerous," Ustad G warned. "I'm not scared," Aram said. "This is our only chance. If we have those papers, we can go to the police. We can stop him." Zara held his hand. "Promise me you'll come back safe." "Promise." That night, under a cloudy sky, Aram left the village quietly with a torch, a bottle of water, and his brave heart. He walked fast through the forest path, his feet muddy and tired. Meanwhile, the 2 men in the black car entered the village slowly. They wore fake smiles and asked the villagers simple questions. "Have you seen a young woman with a baby?" one of them asked. An old lady replied, "No, beta, only villagers live here." But they kept searching. Finally, they stood near Ustad G's house. The man pointed. "That's the house the tea seller spoke about." They knocked hard on the door. Ustad G opened it slowly. "Can I help you?" he asked calmly. "We're looking for someone. A missing person." "No one like that here," Ustad G replied. The man tried to look inside. "We'll check for ourselves." He pushed the door and walked in. Zara stood in the kitchen, holding her baby, her eyes wide with fear, but the baby started crying loudly. The man turned his head sharply. "Zara!" He moved forward, but Ustad G stepped in his way. "You're not welcome here." "I don't care," the man hissed. "She belongs to my boss." Zara spoke boldly. "I am not a thing, I'm a mother, and I will not go back." The man pulled out his phone. "Then we'll do this the hard way." He walked out to call his she. Inside the house, Ustad G turned to Zara. "We have only one hope now." Night had covered the sky like a dark blanket. The stars were hidden behind clouds, and the wind blew with a strange whisper. Aram walked fast on the empty road, his small feet tired, but his heart full of courage. His mind kept thinking about one thing: the bag. "If I find that bag, we can end this," he whispered to himself. He finally reached the clinic. It was closed, but a small light was still on. He knocked. The same nurse opened the door, surprised. "Aram, what are you doing here, beta?" "I need the bag that woman left." "Zara, she gave birth here. The bag has papers. Please, it's important." The nurse thought for a moment, then said, "Wait here." She went inside and returned with a small black handbag. "This one?" she asked. Aram's eyes lit up. "Yes." He quickly opened it. Inside were baby clothes, a photo of Zara and her husband, and a secret folder. He opened the folder. It was full of papers, bank records, and fake IDs. Evidence. Aram held the bag tightly. "Thank you, Didi." "Is she safe?" the nurse asked. "Not yet," Aram said, "but she will be." He ran into the night, back toward the village. Meanwhile, in the village, Zara sat inside the small room, holding her baby tightly. The two men were still outside, watching the house from their black car. Ustad G locked all the doors. Aram will come, he said. Zara looked at the door, scared. What if he doesn't? He will, Ustad G said calmly. He's stronger than you think. But time was running out. One of the men walked toward the door again, holding a phone. Boss is on his way, and when he gets here, no one can stop him, he said with an evil grin. Zara stood up. Her voice was firm. He'll have to kill me before he touches my baby again. Ustad G stood beside her. And he'll have to go through me first. Back. On the road, Aram ran through the forest, holding the bag close to his chest. His legs hurt, but he didn't stop. Suddenly, he heard an engine behind him. The millionaire's car. It stopped. And 3 men got out, including Zara's husband. There's the boy, one of them shouted. Aram turned and ran into the trees. Catch him! He ran as fast as he could. The forest was dark. Branches scratched his face. But he didn't stop. He hid behind a big rock, holding his breath. The men searched, but couldn't find him. After they left, Aram waited, then ran again. By dawn, he reached the village. The final showdown. Zara's husband stood at the door now, shouting, Zara, come out now, or I'll burn this house. Suddenly, Aram appeared, breathing heavily. Wait! Everyone turned. Aram walked forward and held up the folder. This is everything you've done, your secrets, your crimes. The husband froze. Zara came out slowly. These are enough to put you in jail for years, she said. The husband laughed. And who? Will believe a street boy and a runaway wife? The police will, said a voice from behind. 2 policemen stepped out of the trees. The nurse had called them after Aram left the clinic. They took the folder from Aram and looked at the papers. Sir, you're under arrest, one of them said. You have no proof. He shouted. Yes, we do, the officer said, holding up the papers. You made one mistake. You hurt your wife, and she was brave enough to escape. Zara watched as they took him away in handcuffs. The 2 men from the black car also tried to run, but were caught by the villagers. A new beginning. Days passed. Zara and her baby stayed in the village. Peace returned. She looked at Aram one morning and said, You didn't just save me. You saved a life, a future. Aram smiled shyly. Zara spoke again. You deserve more than sleeping on roads and eating scraps. I don't want anything, Aram said. But I want something, she said. I want to adopt you, legally. Will you become part of our family? Aram's eyes filled with tears. You mean, like your son? Like my son, she said. He hugged her tightly. Ustad G wiped his eyes with a cloth and smiled.